By the end of this video, you will be better equipped to be an amazing spouse in marriage.
Check,
I'm ready to
check,
go.
check.
Ready to go. You ready? Yeah, nice shirt. I like that shirt.
Thanks. Guys,
we're
we
gonna
had
get
a rough start to our day, so.
We weren't at our best, but we also weren't at our worst. It's kind of like meh.
Meh.
Anyways,
Today we're going to talk about 3 common lies people tell you about marriage.
we're busting myths again.
Again, we're back at it again with the myth busting, and we're stoked about it. So we want to talk about 3 different things. Daniel, do you want to just rattle them off super quick before we get into them?
The first one is that the housework has to be equal in order for it to be fair. The second one is if you're compatible, you don't have to work at it. And the third one is that if it's hard, it means you married the wrong person.
Before we get into the first lie, I just want to say if you watch our videos regularly, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And also, if you're someone that's a silent watcher, we'd love for you to comment below a video topic that either you've loved that we've done in the past or that you want us to see us do in the future. So the first lie is that the workload in the house needs to be fair.
Yeah.
And the reason why this is a lie is because you are 2 different people with 2 different lives and 2 different capacities that are constantly changing
And life
over
is
time.
always changing around you as well.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're more busy than I am, sometimes I'm more busy than you are, and we adjust to the ebbs and flows of life and in our personalities in the respective season.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so workload doesn't need to be equal. And also, as much as we believe that sharing the workload is really healthy, I bet you there's couples out there where one person does 100% of the work at home, and that was the agreement from the start,
Yeah.
and they just love it that way,
Yeah.
and it just works.
Yeah, like I think fair is consensus, not equal.
Yeah.
Like especially when it comes to housework, because you, for example, could have a job that takes you out of the house a lot, and I might do remote work from home, and I might say, oh, because I'm doing remote work, I'll do 100% of the cooking or 100% of the bigger chores because I have times between meetings or after work or before work that can be recaptured for chores. For example, if you're commuting for 2 hours a day, but I'm working from home, I might best spend those 2 hours that I'm saving and not commuting in cleaning the house and doing chores or preparing meals or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for example, right now, I'm home with our son on maternity leave. It just makes more sense naturally for me to do more of the cooking or the cleaning, but that doesn't mean you do 0 as well.
Yeah.
You also take time to sub me in and give me a break when I need it.
Yeah.
And we kind of, it's like a constant conversation between us.
The second one is just because you're compatible doesn't mean you have to put in work. And the way I view relationships is that they're like a living organism in that if you don't feed them, they will die. So even if you start from an amazing foundation, it's important to constantly put work into evolving and growing your relationship. I have a friend who just celebrated a milestone anniversary, and he put in work to make sure his wife was appreciated, not just the day of the anniversary, but all throughout the week. Surprised her with flowers at work, all these different things. And so it's so important for us not to almost like get into like autopilot when you're like, oh, we like each other and we enjoy each other's company and we've experienced all this time together that would signify health in our marriage, and just float on that. But it's so important for you to continue to put in more and more work as you continue to grow as a couple.
The inertia of life is not going to draw you guys together. It's going to pull you guys apart. And it might not be fast, it might be slow over time, but that's why it's so important to put work day in and day out into your marriage, because you're not just going to wake up 15 years down the road after putting no work into your
100%.
relationship
Yeah.
and be like, oh my gosh, I feel so connected to this person. I'm so excited about life with them. So your marriage should be something that's top of mind for you to work on. I feel like other responsibilities in life often take that top spot because they feel more urgent. So like work or kids, which totally is understandable, or chores or whatever it is, fun just feels like more urgent, but your marriage should be top of mind in terms of what you put effort into, what you put creativity into.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think that like another reason why sometimes it's easier to put more effort into external responsibilities like work, for example, is the accountability structure that's connected to it. So for example, if I'm just coasting at home, you might not notice, or at the very worst, you're the only one that's holding me accountable. And I know that there's a degree of grace that we hold or we extend each other. And so there's no real consequence. Whereas if you coast at work in a high paced environment, for example, there's real accountability that could result in you losing your job. And of course, in marriage, it could result in you ruining your marriage. But when it comes to the immediate day to day, where you're making the decision as to whether you should put in the extra work to making your marriage a good marriage versus a great marriage, there's no really like almost like core accountability structure that's holding you accountable to making it a great marriage. And so it's so important for you to put in that work. I love that you said the inertia of a marriage. First of all, I love the word inertia.
I knew you'd appreciate it.
It's a great word.
Right.
Basically, the momentum of a relationship won't take you just naturally by default into health and becoming an increasingly better spouse or in a better marriage, but it'll take you towards apathy and taking the person for granted. And so you have to continually work at it and think of creative ways, similar to how you would think of creative ways and be intentional about getting better at your job. It's important for you to think creatively about being better within your marriage, being better for the person and being better as a unit.
Think about like the stats. Everyone knows the stats. I think it's over 50% of marriages end in divorce. Why do you think that is? It's because marriage takes work and humans love the path of least resistance. And so when people are always taking the path of least resistance, those marriages are going to fall.
100%. So even if you're compatible, even if you get along, you have fun together, it's so important for you to step back, think creatively, similar to how like corporations will sometimes have their leadership teams take an off-site day or a series of days to think about, okay, how are we going to put more effort and more energy into this organization over the next 4 quarters so that it's better as an organization. I think similarly, you should take periodic times, either independent of your spouse or with your spouse, to think over the next year, maybe 2 years, or maybe it's a shorter period of time, over the next 4 months, how are we going to work towards actively improving our marriage in a way that's not just coasting, but actively improving?
I think we should talk about ways that we put in effort in our marriage.
So are you assuming that we're compatible?
Yes. Well, actually, you guys, when Daniel and I were doing premarital counseling, we took a test.
Yeah.
We loved this test because we
scored
like
really encouraging
95% on it, which means like an A+.
It was like a compatibility test.
Yeah, and so we were quite compatible and we were pretty stoked on that.
And I think it was pretty like extensive. Like we had to answer like 100 questions or something like that.
Yeah, we felt like we were like the same person. I feel like over time we've realized we're very different.
We're very different.
But we are quite compatible. But what would you say is one way we put in effort?
Yeah, I would say that we put a lot of effort into communicating and improving on the ways we communicate. Like, say, for example, we're talking about scheduling and we're trying to make sure we're lining up social events versus work things for me or for you versus family things. We constantly like audit, like, is this working for us? Is this working for you? Is this working for me? If there's for example, a season of life where we're feeling like things are disproportionately busy, where we take time to pull each other away and go, is there something we should be adjusting to make life feel a bit more sustainable? I would say that we really fight to get like leisure time together, even within busy periods of life. Like I'll often message you and say, oh, when I come home, we should go for a walk, or we should go to this place in the city, or we should go to this coffee shop.
Leisure time typically equals like some level of deeper conversation.
Yes.
So we're often like searching for that connection with one another.
Because I think that if we just let our life almost like lead us, we would be led towards distance from each other, a lot of productivity and getting things done, but not a lot of like presence with each other.
Yeah, and our life involves a lot of other people, which we love.
Yeah.
But I think if we got too swept up in that, because we're both introverted, when we get home, we just like would not
Yeah.
want to be like
Yeah.
talking more and engaging
Yeah.
more. We just want to be like
We're like
inside
not,
our heads.
yeah, we're like not giving each other our best energy. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
exactly.
And what would you say? Like, how would you say we?
Yeah, I was thinking about like walks and just the amount of times we like carve out space for one another. I think too, a way that we really put an effort into our relationship is we support one another in our passions and what we want to do. And I think even if those things are done individually, I think that level of support means a lot for our connection.
Yeah.
Because it means you're interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You want to help me prioritize in what I'm doing.
100%,
You want to help me get better at what I'm doing. And that to me means a lot.
Something recently that Mariah did that was meaningful for me for Father's Day is that for the last like 12 years, I've been using the same like cheap cologne.
And I loved it.
It was like $15 from a flea market, but it smelled great. So I just used it, and I'm like, I'm 30 now. I think it's time for me to get a proper cologne.
Level up a bit.
And for me, there's certain areas of life that I'm very decisive in, but things that are less consequential, I find that I'm very indecisive about. So Mariah put in work with me to like hunt down a cologne, and then she went one day when I was at work to buy the cologne for me for Father's Day. And she said it was from our son, but he's 8 months old, so he makes no money.
It was kind of from him.
He doesn't really contribute much to...
He'll pay me back one day.
One day.
Yeah.
But anyway, she bought it, and it was meaningful for me because now I have a new scent. And I felt very like she was putting a lot of thought into making sure that I was supported and feeling valued on my first official Father's Day. It's those things that we do that we try to step out and put effort into doing so that the other person is hearing through our words and through our deeds that we don't take each other for granted.
Yeah, that's good. All right, the third one.
The third one is, if your marriage is hard, it means you married the wrong person.
This lie makes me kind of sad, actually, that there's people out there that believe this, that are in their marriage thinking, what the heck did I do? I married the wrong person. This is too hard. It's like, yes, there's going to be hard moments and it might feel impossible to overcome. But in my life, I have seen marriages overcome a lot. That has also taken a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of intention. But just because there's conflict coming up, doesn't mean the end of your marriage. It doesn't mean you married the wrong person. You guys can get through it.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes it actually means that you have the wrong mechanisms for communicating or resolving conflict. I think that there's momentary or situational conflict, and then there's like perennial issues that reoccur, almost like when you're gardening, like perennial flowers like grow back every season. And I think that sometimes people think they married the wrong person because they haven't found a way to properly chat through, process, and resolve the perennial issues. So they're like, every year we deal with the same thing. This must mean we're not meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it means you have to find better ways, more appropriate ways, more helpful ways to overcome these conflicts.
Yeah.
And even like recognize the cyclical nature of them so that you can get proactive about saying like, oh, I know what's coming. And so I'm going to be proactive about ensuring that this problem doesn't come up again by communicating earlier, by talking about the fact that it might be coming, et cetera, et cetera. And I find that having someone like a third party, like a counselor or someone in your life who you both trust, kind of stand in as a mediator is sometimes helpful in navigating that as well.
So it's less about the person and the person being wrong for you, and it's more about the conflicts that you guys are going through. I feel like that's more of the issue than the person itself.
And of course, like marital conflict is way more complex than we can give time to right now. But before you call it a quits on the person or start thinking down that pathway, really step back and think, is there a better way for us to approach these conflicts that keep reoccurring? Or is there a better way or a better frame through which you can view the person in a way that's like, oh, I recognize, for example, this is just an example, I recognize that this person, every time I do this thing, they're actually responding out of a place of like childhood hurt or trauma. And every time I say that type of thing, they're triggered and it resolves in a conflict. Relationships are so complex. Like, it's hard for us in this moment to speak to the full range of what marriages are affected by. But the key takeaways for this point would be get to know what are your perennial problems, the problems that keep recurring, and then get to know the person you're in relationship with in a way that doesn't assume that the person is the problem, but assume that the person is your partner in solving the problem.
Exactly. So good. So there you have it. 3 more myths busted from us. We hope that was helpful to you and your relationship, whether you're just dating right now or married. If you haven't already, like I said earlier, please like and subscribe. We'd love to have you a part of this community. If you like this video, make sure to watch this video next. And with that, we will see you next week.